Wild Swans by Edna St. Vincent Millay, 1892 to 1950. I looked in my heart while the wild swans went over, and what did I see I had not seen before? Only a question less or a question more. Nothing to match the flight of wild birds flying. Tiresome heart, forever living and dying, house without air, I leave you and lock your door. Wild swans, come over the town again, trailing your legs and crying. Okay, this is a poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. She was born in Maine. She lived in New York, in Greenwich Village, in the roaring 20s. This was in the boom after the First World War. And she was a leading feminist, and she promoted the freedom for women to live as they wanted, not to follow the traditional ways that were expected from women. She was somebody who supported the independence of women to live their own lives, to do their own things, not to be the poor little woman dependent on men. No, she is somebody who represents freedom of action. Now, this is a poem where she looks up and she sees some wild swans flying over, and these swans are completely free, and these birds are free to go where they want, to do what they want, to travel where they want, and they are on their way, and they're not looking at the past, they're not looking at the future. And she is committing herself to change, that she is tired of the repetitive life that she lives. She's tired of the way she's living, and she wants to be as free as these swans. She wants the physical and emotional freedom of these birds. And seeing them, it strikes a note in her heart, and she sees her life as chained to the typical pattern of every day, that she's suffocating and stuck at home, and she wants her heart to be free. She wants to live a new life. She wants to be free to go and do and think what she wants, like the freedom of the swans. I looked into my heart while the wild swans went over. So she's looking inside herself as these wild swans fly over. And what did I see I had not seen before? And what was there in my heart that I hadn't seen before? Only a question less or a question more. But clearly she's seen something. There's something that has struck her of this sight of the swans, and she's wondering what has changed. And these are the swans migrating, but she's sure that there is something else that she's seen, that this is raising questions within her it's raising more or less questions than before, and clearly she feels a change. Nothing to match the flight of wild birds flying. So there's nothing that can compare to watching wild birds flying, going wherever they want. Tiresome heart, forever living and dying. House without air, I leave you and lock your door. So there is nothing like these wild birds flying, and now she's looking inside herself, and tiresome heart, her heart is tired, or perhaps her heart is always repeating the same emotional patterns, doing the same emotional things, and life is forever living and forever dying. It's always going in the same circle, and she's talking about her heart and her situation. She's living in a cycle of life and death where happiness doesn't last, where nothing brings relief, that everything is temporary and nothing is new. House without air, I leave you and lock your door. And here she is now determined to change. She's determined to change her tiresome heart. That she's leaving. She's going to leave this house without air, this world without without freedom, without thinking. And she's going to go into a new way of living. She's going to free the chains of her mind. And she's going to lock this door, this door behind me. She's going to lock the suffocation of her mind and her freedom behind her, and be free as these wild swans. Wild swans, come over the town again, trailing your legs and crying. And she's begging the swans to come over the town again. She wants to see them again. She needs perhaps just a little bit more inspiration. She wants to break out of the world that she's living in, to live or feel a new way. And she wants to strengthen her connection with the freedom of these swans. And the swans, they are crying as they go past. Swans, when they fly, make a very distinctive noise, and they're trailing their legs and crying. But they know what they're doing. They aren't worried about their lives. They're not even worried about where they're going, and she is longing for this freedom. So this is really about a poem about freedom of thinking, of she longs, she's determined to change her life, to change the way she reacts to society, not to do the same old things, and to be as free as one of these wild swans. So, The Wild Swans by Edna St. Vincent Millay.